Thank you, Ignacio. Hi, everyone. I want to take the chance to thank Kuba and the team for inviting us here, and I would say they earn a round of applause for organizing this session so well. I mean, the food is great, the place is great, and obviously the content is really great. I've been having such a good time learning new things about Magento, and I really like to visit next year. So, my name is Remus. I am a business development manager at Zento. We are a SaaS solution based on Magento. I know it might be new for some of you who haven't heard of it, but hopefully you're using SaaS tools. Can I get a hand up raise who uses a SaaS tool in his company? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, not so many. Okay, let's see how can a SaaS tool help our business be more competitive in the market. Hopefully this presentation will give you some insights about the tools that you can use as a merchant, as a company owner, or as an online shop manager to have better results in your online activity. These are the topics that we're going to talk about. What is a SaaS tool and why using it is more efficient. Types of SaaS tools that are out there. There are several types of tools and the different tools that you can use. Obviously, for the final part, we have a short quiz to understand if you guys are using some SaaS tools that might help your business be really competitive in the market. The term software as a service is like really old. So it means software as a service. Maybe you've heard of it. But in terms of a license subscription, which is an old model, that basically allows companies to gain access to a type of service that is paid on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. And this type of centralized cloud hosting has helped companies like eBay and some other, let's say, unicorns in this business started really early. So by that time, in the 1960s, they were creating some innovative services of allowing different companies to share their technology, to share their expertise, and to help them gain more competitive to be more competitive in the market. And if you want to look at this, I would say the time sharing feature is actually a really important mention here because it actually helped other companies to use the technology that IBM had in a shared economy system, which was really affordable by that time. Obviously, that means, in the long run, cloud computing, databases, and centralized databases, which helped other companies access more data and access them really easy by the help of such companies as application service providers. That was the old name, let's say. Sorry. Okay. And these EAPs have offered companies these services that help them reduce the costs by this specialization of the industry of the provider. That means that a company could use the knowledge and the expertise that another company had in that field and in that industry to have a better product, to find a better product market fit, and be more competitive in the market. And the software as a service essentially extends this model, having two objectives and one outcome. Obviously, the first is to reduce costs, because that's really important. And the second is the specialization. Both of them lead to one outcome, which is really, really important, and which is the key differentiator in maintaining your business really, let's say, efficient. And that is the competitivity. Without being competitive in the market, you might feel that you don't have an advantage over the competition. So this is really important in this technological era. The fact that more and more solutions provide competitivity for the merchants. This is how it looked a long time ago, where companies had to manage everything from the hardware part to the operating system and throughout all the applications and other services that they used. And this is a long journey from the 1960s. But as we can see now, as a business owner, I don't have to manage this whole chain of elements, this whole chain of events where something might go wrong or something might not work. And it's more easily affordable as a solution to use a SaaS tool that already does this. And as a business owner, I can focus on building a better company, of having new sales channels, of partnerships, and so many other elements that help you be more efficient running your business rather than managing virtualization, which really any merchant shouldn't know what that means. Here are some advantages of the SaaS tools. Of course, there are so many of them, and probably you know a lot of them that you probably use today without even knowing. But I would say the most important thing in this element is the fact that it reduces the operational cost, which means you can have a faster launch time, you can have better or clearer information for your business that you would require someone to work in creating a report, in creating some information that you need to make a decision. And probably there already is a solution out there that might help you get that information without investing a lot of resources in it. And this total cost of ownership means that you have to manage everything, from the server side, from the hardware side, and from all the other tools that you want to be more competitive. As long as you manage a lot of them, that means you need to address, to have more budget, to a lot more resources, and that's not really feasible in today's era, as having a slower velocity in the market than your competitor brings an advantage to them. So that means if you don't use a tool that would help you to better understand the market, to better find the product market fit, or to better, let's say, manage your inside team, your competition might use it and you'd lose market share in front of them. And why is that? Why is the SaaS tool more affordable than a perpetual sold license? Well, because it has a lot of costs that are less, because mainly, when you're using a technology in a traditional way, you would have to pay a license and also a subscription fee or a support fee that might be optional. So that means the business itself that's selling you that product is not really interested in keeping you on the long run. So it doesn't invest in technology. So that's not really something that you can rely on. But as a result, the setup cost for a SaaS fee is lower than traditional because that solution already has a lot of processes that have been optimized for launching new clients, for launching new instances for clients. And this actually helps them be more competitive in the market by allowing you to be more competitive. So I would say it's a handshake between you and your partner that has such a SaaS tool that might help you be more competitive. And that's how it looks in a nutshell. If you'd see on premises, means you would have all the hardware or the infrastructure from your side, all the tools, and then you would have some costs from licensing, but a lot of costs from maintaining those technologies. And if you look at the cloud version, where all the SaaS tools are, you would have a higher licensing model, but you would have less costs for the consulting, the IT resources, and the training. And then, obviously, it means that more than half of double for the cloud-based solutions are more affordable, meaning the upfront costs and the long run as a subscription model is much more efficient than on the traditional way. Okay, everybody got the picture? I would say the most essential factor in this article is that the fact that it offers you competitive as a solution versus the traditional way. And obviously you would see a lot of tools that are out there. Maybe you've tried them, or maybe you tested them, and a lot of them are really quite affordable, because if you'd like to create a new function for your ERP, for your e-commerce solution, and you would try to create it from scratch or hire an agency to do it for you, it might be quite expensive. And on the long run, maintaining that software that you've built or that application might be very costly, because first of all, that agency wouldn't work only on your product or only on your project. It would have a lot of other. And the interest, if it's not a SaaS tool, to maintain your technology very well in terms of stability, scalability, and safety is not such a, let's say, a focused goal of that company. So aim for the ones that are really into going in a SaaS subscription model, because they have the highest chance of offering you better services. And obviously, everyone looks to outsource these days. So they really don't want to manage everything in-house, because it's really quite expensive to find certified developers, to find really performant teams that act well on a long run. And this is something that's more and more hard to find. So more and more companies are looking to have a better or more accessible solution from other vendors. And this is in the B2B sector. It works as a glove, because a lot of companies need to have a really high velocity in time to launch, in time to market, in making decisions every day, day-to-day decisions. And obviously the most important fact is that SaaS providers develop their applications with integrations of other SaaS tools, meaning they're really easy to use. Whether it's single sign-on or some other type of connection between those tools, they are really keen on helping you interconnect better and communicate with the other tools that you are working. I'm probably sure that the development teams use Slack and Jira together or interconnect such applications. But obviously for the ones that are in the merchant business, they can use, for example, their database from Gmail as users to connect with a SaaS tool that already uses a single sign-on feature that might help them manage the team better. If you look now at the SaaS spending per company, this is a study from US, we'll see that in the last years, there is a huge spending on SaaS. And as you can see, this graphic shows, we can see there is a huge spike here, 2014-16. That's actually the age of cloud, where a lot of solutions started to, let's say, create their own services for different SaaS tools, mainly serverless or IBM or even other technologies that really started offering their time-sharing utilities in a system where other SaaS tools could build their own projects or their own software and offer it as a solution for other businesses. And we're down to the types of SaaS. As we've seen so far, there are two types of SaaS tools, horizontals and vertical. What's the difference between them two? Well, the horizontal SaaS is the one that focuses on a category, and probably you're already using that without even knowing. It's something that could be used in any industry, because it's agnostic industry. And we have the vertical SaaS. The vertical SaaS, I would say, are the most important, because it's a tool that meets the needs of a particular industry, that can be used in a different niche. And since we are at an e-commerce event, I would obviously love discussing about some SaaS tools on the e-commerce field, because that might give you an advantage. And if you look here, there is a short list of some horizontal SaaS that you may use. The ones that on the left side, the horizontal SaaS, and the vertical SaaS. And I've chosen here some companies even from the Polish market. If you see, there are some tools that can offer you different advantages based on your industry, based on your category niche of products. For example, Algolia is a search engine based on a SaaS model. Channelable is a solution that would help you to interconnect with different selling channels from other countries, like marketplaces, product aggregators, and other syndication platforms. Yotpo, it's a product review tool. It's revenue-driven, so you only pay what you actually get as a return. Then we have pricing, which actually helps you to track the prices online to understand how the competition is doing with the same products that you are maybe selling, and to understand how the market shifts. User.com is a user incentive platform for marketing. OmniConvert, you've seen the presentation yesterday from my Romanian colleague. Redlink, Email Labs, Zento Shop, that's us. We have different SaaS tools that help e-commerce merchants have better results online. And why is that, eventually? Well, because all of these vertical SaaS solutions already focus on a niche, on an industry. So they're very specific, and they help e-commerce businesses gain more information, develop better projects, or be present in other countries really fast, or everything you see here and much more. And how does it look? Well, the horizontal SaaS, as you've seen here, like G Suite, Dropbox, HubSpot, Salesforce, many of you already use them, right? Raise your hand who uses horizontal SaaS. Okay, some hands. How does it look? Well, the horizontal SaaS is already educated. We've been using it for about a couple of years, 10, 20 maybe, some of us. And this phase obviously has a large base of customers. The customers understand the benefits of SaaS tools. And many companies already buy it because they understand the benefit of using a SaaS tool rather than reinventing the wheel or creating another solution that might be useful, competitive, or even try to consider creating a new SaaS tool like a horizontal SaaS. It's something that really nobody cares about because we already have a lot of solutions there. We have in some categories, it's very difficult to differentiate the products, right? We have different mailing systems. There are so many out there that can be used in any industry. And also, for new horizontal SaaS providers, it's really difficult to create a new product that might be competitive in the market. It's something that there might be some types of, let's say, service providers that are really disruptive and creating new types of services in the horizontal SaaS market, but they really need to be to shift towards a vertical or to an industry because the market is overcrowded now with horizontal solutions. And let's take a look on the vertical SaaS market. Well, we're still in the market education phase because we are here discussing about some vertical SaaS tools that really help the e-commerce solution. And you haven't really raised your hands when I asked about the usage of SaaS tools. And this is something that we're still trying to learn customers about the advantages and the benefits of vertical SaaS tools. We have no category winners because there are not so many. Yet, we see that more and more vertical SaaS tools are launched each year. That means either horizontal SaaS are shifting towards an industry, towards the vertical, or the new ones that enter the market already target a vertical or an industry where there might be competitive and see there is a niche market for that product. Okay, what are the advantages practically? Well, if a company already targets the industry that you are already in, it really helps you benefit from that experience from the company and to better adopt it, to easily adopt it, and to have better results on the long run because that software solution or that SaaS solution already focuses on the industry where you are present. And obviously, they're easier to adopt because when you're talking in the same language with the client, he knows that you have experience in that field. You already work with some other clients maybe in an industry or are focused on some other key players in that industry. And this is something that the client gains your trust as an expert in that field, and it can help you adopt them better. But the main important thing is this line right here. The fact that the client gains an upper hand over competition is the key differentiator, I would say, and the uncompetitive, unfair advantage, I would say, for the ones that use vertical SaaS is the fact that they are among the first that use it. So to be innovative in an industry, you would need to use innovative solution. Well, a horizontal SaaS isn't really innovative. It's been here for like 20, 30 years. But a vertical SaaS solution really is innovative. And how is that? Well, it's specifically designed to meet your needs. And what are your needs? Are based on an industry, on a niche of products. You need to find that vertical solution, that vertical SaaS tool that gains you the upper hand over competition. And believe me, they're out there a lot. It is estimated there are about 100,000 SaaS solutions out there. Obviously, more and more should be vertical in the next years. And let's see some examples. How we can use a vertical SaaS tool in some strategies. For example, if you have an online eShop, and you want to have a go-to-market strategy. What could you use as a vertical SaaS to help you be more competitive? Well, we know that almost half of the orders online are sold through other channels, through third-party aggregators, to marketplaces, and other selling channels. What we can use to have a vertical SaaS tools, what could it help us? Well, it could help us to distribute our catalog programmatically through several other selling channels without having to to activate or to manage it manually and have an advantage of cost because it does these things automatically. And the aim is to have an industry-specific, let's say, ubiquity presence among the marketplaces that you would want to be present at. Because if you're in the fashion industry, you really want to be on those marketplaces that are focused on the fashion industry. And the more niche that you are and following those marketplaces or product aggregators, the more or the better results you can get. Well, let's see in the pricing strategy. How could we use a vertical SaaS tool when defining our pricing strategy? Well, we can track prices online. We can see what the competition is doing. We can understand how are they changing their prices. And we can actually programmatically analyze those changes and see what the competition is doing, which takes us to the last part. That means that we can report the updates. And furthermore, we can dynamically update the prices. That means based on a pricing policy that you would have, you could use a vertical solution that would analyze the pricings of your products throughout the whole selling channels within a region, for example, in Poland. And you could actually automatically change those prices for your e-shop based on a pricing policy that would allow you the margin to do that and be competitive without investing a lot of resources in understanding the market. So it's something that only a vertical SaaS tool could help you understand, because nowadays it's really easy to understand what the competition is doing. By the way, you know in the 60s how they did research on pricing? They used to have all the students in an aula magna session like this one, and they would give them all the magazines from all those let's say auto industry market, and they would have to check every banner and every commercial section from that magazine and then report it, and about 2-3 months later they would have a report about how is the, let's say, auto industry doing in terms of advertising in magazines. So they would find out the budget for each company and they would understand more about the market. That's a process that takes about 3 years. It took about 3 months in the 1960s. Well, today we can get that in a snap. It's something that we don't have to understand how it works, but we need to understand that there is a solution there that works in this way. So I would say that's really, really interesting. And another example, in customer retention. Just look at the how the channels of presence have evolved throughout these years. I mean, to be competitive in today's landscape, which has a lot of elements, and soon there are going to be a lot more, you need to have some tools that help you gain productivity throughout all these channels. And how could you do that? Well, you could use a vertical SaaS that could provide you these metrics without having to invest on each of those platforms. And how is that? Well, it can easily provide you with some key metrics here from the e-commerce business, which is really important, I would say, for many of you as merchants, in that it can give you some instant information about your customers without investing in a lot of research or in a lot of tools that might need some manual labor. And the manual work that you do today with your team is something that is, I would say, more and more costly, because it doesn't bring any value added to your project, since it could be done by a machine or some tool that could done it automatically, so nobody loves to do it manually. And obviously for the last part, I've saved a little quiz. So if you would all just connect to your Wi-Fi, it's supposed to be zentoshop.pl, proud sponsor. Thank you very much. If you'd go to menti.com and enter this ID, 393383, you would get a chance to vote. And I'm going to tell you the results, which are quite interesting. I would say this quiz might help understand the market. So I'm hoping to see some results as you vote along the way. Does your company use vertical SaaS tools? Okay. I see there are people voting. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, voting is now closed. Thank you very much. Presumably, if the Wi-Fi didn't work, please discuss it with Kuba. And we see at this moment that we have a 71% that is not using vertical SaaS. So it means a lot of us are not using these tools to be more productive and to be more efficient in the online business. So this is something that we need to change, because in today's landscape, to gain an upper hand on competition, to reduce costs, and to be more competitive, you just need to use more SaaS tools. So that's me. That's us, Zento. We are a Magento SaaS platform, and we offer a SaaS solution for it. And that's our unique selling proposition. I would say give us a try, test it. And hopefully this information will help you be more productive in the e-commerce business, obviously on Magento. Thank you very much.